Organised is the big word here for me. Organised is fast, organised is professional, organised is quality in my eyes. To start the video off, we have the ultimate workbench here, just to let you know that this thing, well, to give you some scale, this ultimate workbench that we have been building over time, all made out of birch ply, is the size of a full-size snooker table. And that gives you the scale, well, that's giving you the size of this workshop. Other sizes I will give you at the beginning right now. In this workshop, we have got a floor space of 4 meters by 9.5, 38 square meters for the workshop side. In the spray room finishing side, we have got 5.5 by 7.5. That gives us 41 square meters, 79 square meters total floor space. Okay, so that's the floor plan, that's not the cubic meters. Well, if you want to work out the cubic meters, you just times that by 2.5, because that's how high my ceiling height is. So that would be 79 times 2.5, I believe, and that'll give you the cubic meters. That is what we're working with, and I'll give you a quick look around right now. If you're not a subscriber or you haven't watched any of my videos and you want a quick glimpse of the sizes of both spaces, here it is. We've got a little hobby space in the corner there, our spray booth, racks, a whole load of stacking material racks over there, and space over here. Let's go back in, and I suppose what we'll do is we'll work on the workshop side here, because most of you are woodworkers that are watching this want to know how I utilise my space. So before we built the ultimate workbench, we had a few OSB benches dotted around. We had a few machines, we had mortisers, bandsaws, iron-on edges, taking up loads of space. It didn't work. It looked messy. Some machines didn't get used. They said they got stuck in the corner. And you know what it's like. They don't get used. They get covered in dust. And they look awful, stuck in a corner. Everything needs wheels. It's not really my style to do things like that. So 5 years ago, I decided, okay, I'm going to build a dedicated bench that does everything, right? So this is a fantastic bench. I love it. I wouldn't change anything. 5 years down the line, I'm still using it as intended to. It's got everything built in. That is the space saver. That is what it was all about, saving space. So we got the table saw in there and extraction, the cyclone system, we got tons of storage. We got clamping on the side of our bench. We got clamping on the top of our bench for the dog holes. This is only a brief description, by the way. There is a dedicated playlist for this. I'll show you the link right there. More storage, and then we're opening up this one. We've got a chop saw on a scissor lift that pokes out the top, and then we have got a compressor, silent compressor, and then we're getting to the end. Then we've got a thicknesser here, and in this side we have got a whole load of cutters. Also got a router lift in there. Everything's built in with the storage. All the storage works out great here. We utilize every single scrap of space in here. Okay, we've made the drawers full depth all the way, so they're 700 deep each, and there's hardly any wasted space. So basically the storage in this bench is probably 50% of everything that we have stored. Tools, machines, screws, etc, etc, they're all dotted around. Behind it, leading on to the tool wall, that is another really handy use of space. It's a wall, isn't it? It's a wall that wouldn't get used, and it's on a wall where we've got a bit of a tight walkway. We moved this bench as far over as we can to make it nice and easy to walk through, enough space but not wasting the space, because we need the space over there and over there. So this is more of a walkway, and this is more of a walkway. It's about 700 or 800 wide here and here. So this was the perfect wall to have, the tool wall, to pick off the tools that we're going to need whenever we need them. They're to hand. We don't need to hunt around for them. We can see them. We can point to them what we're going to take and use it, and then put it back exactly where it was. Everything has a home. I love this stuff. It's all 3D printed. I made all that, by the way. Up here, this was the first thing I built. So when I built this workshop, I put the floor down and I was like, I need some storage. I need a couple of benches. Bought a whole load of OSB. and made these random boxes. So they're different widths and heights and different, but they show all the tools that I'm going to need to use. Mainly Trend over here and Makita over here. They're the two brands that I use. Everything's to hand where I need them. We're looking here, our batteries all on charge. Radio, obviously radio goes to the speakers in the ceiling. Speakers in the ceiling, and so are the lights. Okay, so everything is flat. Even the fuse boxes are in the ceiling. And nothing sticks out. Utilising the ceiling for the lights with these downlighters. What better way to utilise the ceiling space than to put your lights and your speakers in there. So cubbies for all the tools, for our routers, sanders, grinders, everything that we're going to need. We pick it up, we use it, we put it back. And that is the beauty of this little rack. And everything, to be honest, in here is pick it up, use it, put it back. You can see what you want and where you need to put it after you've used it. Also, it looks quite cool. While I'm in this corner, this is a brand new thing, by the way. I was thinking of making a little video on why I think everyone needs a little trolley. It's a great little addition to the workshop. I might make a little video on that. Although it's only a trolley, it does big things for the workshop, as in move it there, move it there, move it there, anywhere you want it, and it clears your bench off, keeps it free. So that is the workbench and the tools and all the power tools, everything here. And look how much space we have. So the space is there for stacking. Yeah, it's just clear and tidy and organised. Organised is the big word here for me. Organised is fast. Organised is professional. Organised is quality in my eyes. You can just dedicate all your whole brain power into your build and not having to figure out where you're going to put that tool. Where is my sander? Oh, damn, I've lost that. I can't find it. But we are getting some extraction up here, by the way. We're going to have a little extractor up here and some signs around it, some neon lights, LED lights. So that's the thing to come. Anyway, off topic there. We leave this corner here free and we utilise all the walls that you see around for storage. So we try and keep these free, not only for storing, but it looks nice as well and clear. And for me, again, clear is a clear brain. Clutter, it just makes you feel claustrophobic inside, for me anyway. And I can't stand a workshop that is cluttered up and yeah, just tools everywhere. You can't find anything. I do not know how you can work like that. Might be a little bit of my OCD. Right, moving over. This is a new addition, by the way, and we're going to go over this and this because I think another video is all about making storage for these three beauties over here. New tools to me, not new tools in general. Bandsaw, drum sander, detail sander, sanding disc, sanding belt sander, blah, blah, blah. New addition was the CNC. This is only half size, by the way. This is the Yeti, the Trend Yeti, and it's a fantastic addition to any workshop. And carrying on the space-saving kind of like vibe that I'm on right now and what this video is all about, and utilising every inch of space. This is a prime example why this workshop is space saving, because this is portable. It can be dismantled in 3 minutes and stacked anywhere you like with minimal parts. And if I don't need it, I can take it apart in 3 to 5 minutes and then put it together again in the same amount of time. If you are looking to get into CNCing, I would definitely recommend one of these, although they might not be out for sale right now, but I'm thinking they're coming out pretty soon, again by Trend. That is in a corner that can be used, although I like the space. I like everything looking open and empty. I'm living with that and I'm happy with that. I've broken it down to the half sheet because I'm not using the full sheet. When it's the full sheet, it goes this way. Because it's the half sheet CNC layout right now, that's the way it is. But as you can see, all the cables and Hoover is all neatly wrapped up and tucked away. The Cyclone's in there. Hoover vacuum is there. Right, moving on. So when I first built this, there was a little recess there just because it's the way I had to build the outbuilding. I utilised all the space around the back. And I just made this racking out of CLS timber, which is 63 by 38 timbers, and OSB tops, as you can see here. There was storage here for timber at the bottom, and that's the way it was. But 6 months ago, when I revamped the workbench and did a few bits, I decided I wanted to put my router table and That's table accessories. This is the one that goes on the ultimate workbench. That's the one that lifts out. Down at the bottom, so I'm utilising that space there. I'm utilising all of this for bits and pieces that are too good to throw away. Also, we've got a little slimline system rack there, which holds all the strips and any long bits that I don't want to throw. Mainly timber there, okay? Here, that is the fence. Again, utilising every inch, and plus it looks cool. I'm going to show you something in a moment that is really cool. They'll make you think, yeah, I can do something like that in my workshop. Don't go anywhere, because I'm going to show you that. It's in the ceiling just in a moment. Over here, we have got, it's a thin part. Again, another fuse board up there. I've got 2 fuse boards. That's the fuse board that powers this side. Not wasting any ceiling space. I'm not having the fuse board in the space that I'm going to need. And plus, it doesn't look crap in the workshop, having one sticking out, just like bulbous lights that stick out. This is for strips. And I've made the bottom of the floor leaning back ever so slightly, so when I put the strips in, they're always wanting to push themselves up against the wall. This is basically our trim rack. Space saving once more is the sliding doors. So when I built this was solid. This side was the only space that we had. This is about 12 years ago, this now. So we knocked this wall down and turned it into a sliding door system. Up the top, we got 4 sliding tracks, 4 big full-size OSB doors, although one only generally opens now because things have changed a little bit. We use the space just there. 4 racks, which means there's no point opening that up. We can open this one up all the way open. That will give us like 1.82 meters opening space there if we need to get big pieces in and out. But that is space saving also. It doesn't take up a lot of space. 4 doors in total. The thickness of that track in total, if you added it all up, it's probably about 100 and something mil. So there's no hinge doors, there's no wasted space there, and it works perfectly. So you wanted to know what's in the ceiling? Yeah, all right, let's go and have a look. Ready for it? I've got to get my ladder for this, my little hop up. Right, this is a little slot that holds, drum roll, our 3 meter Makita track. How cool is that? Look, it's the beam. I mean, I know where all the spaces are and all the voids, and I know there was a void there because I built the thing, and there's a girder at the top, and I know I clad the girder with some OSB back in the day, leaving a void. I was like, where can I put this? We were sliding it underneath the workbench, in out, scratching the floor up, damaging the track, and then I cut this away, and then I was like, yeah, that's perfect. So that goes in there, and just slide it in just like that, and perfectly stored, nice and safe. How's that for space saving, hey? I bet you can't beat that. And that little ladder lives in the corner there, but because we've got some drawers there, that just has to live there for the moment. Anyway, I think that is the workshop talked about. It's all about space, things looking nice. I don't like things when they just dumped there. Everything is built as best as possible. Quality materials. There's a style going on. There's OSB, there's white, there's birch. Everything has got to look nice. And then we've got the red there. We're going to decorate a lot more soon with YouTube stuff to make it look a bit more video friendly and a bit more bling when you're watching the videos. So in here, this is the size. That is, how big is it? I've forgotten. It's 5.5 by 7.5, I think. Just had a look at the notes. And that is 41 square meters of floor space. And again, well, everything's OSB, by the way. There's OSB underneath here, untouched. Always been covered by this. We've got Corex down, floor protection. Excuse me. And that's been down for 5 years. Never changed it. Still doing its job. And it's perfect for spray rooms. A little tip there, if anyone wants to clad a spray room or a spray room floor, it cleans up really nice. So there was just one wall here before when we moved in. And I had a couple of boxes there where my old paint sprayers used to live. And I never used to utilize this space properly. It was racked out, as in shelves like this. But this is a new addition. Okay, so we review and use tools, don't we? Lasers and CNCs and stuff. So I wanted to get into more hobby stuff. I wanted something nice where I could keep all my tools clean, dust free, and out of the way, and make them look nice and make them fit into the space. That was built to live there. We have now bought a whole load more material, and I decided to have that for emergency space to stack material. So as you can see here, we've got a whole row of sheet material. I mean, there's got to be 100 sheets plus, maybe more. It's 1.2 deep at the front. Behind this, it's our rack where we lean all the offcuts off with a little string around it, so it just holds it in. And again, that cabinet there used to live there, but then I decided, well, let's use this space, let's utilize it more. We had a wall there. I was thinking, well, I've got all the lasers, I want to utilize it, I want to get into hobby stuff more. Again, we're going to go back into the workshop in a moment. Got rid of the boxes, I moved the cabinet here, put the curtain across and connected that, so when I'm not using it, it keeps the overspray out like so, and that will live like that, and it looks good enough. I was thinking about a door there, but it never kind of worked, or clear polythene, that kind of never made it to the drawing board. But yeah, but now over here I'm making the use of all the space. This is the materials we're using for the CO2 laser and diode laser. Yeah, we got CO2 laser there, 50 watts, and we got 60 watt diode laser there for making all sorts of stuff, from this sign here to these cutouts, to these little cutouts, to these cutouts. A laser for engraving onto metal. We've got the X1 carbon printer, and the Omtech 50 watt CO2, and then we've got Genmitsu CNC there. All accessible. I can close this curtain up, open up the doors. Remember, we're utilizing every inch of space in here. And that's what this video is all about. I'm trying to teach you, not teach you, but just show you how you can utilize all your space and still make it look nice. I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but I kind of like my style. It's not for everyone. The OSB is for perfect workshop material. It's cheap, it's durable, and it looks all right. So yeah, going off topic, we've got a little shelf here. The Laser Pecker 5 lives here, but I've lent it to a friend, Sam. Hello Sam, how's it going? We've got workbench here, so I'm even utilizing this rolling trend box. That's got storage in for cutters and other bits and pieces for my lasers, so I use it as a bench. So I can sit there and sit here, my laptop here, all my cables that are coming off the machines are there, and they're generally connected to that. So I connect that to my laptop, my Surface Pro, Microsoft Surface Pro, connect that in, and then I can utilize any machine that's connected to my computer right there, even this one and even the one that lives there. All the cables are there. Again, quick and easy, everything to hand, all the cables for every machine is here. A little bit of a mess because I've just made a mess just now. But it's my tinkering place for hobby stuff and making things and getting creative, bringing the kids in here and enjoying the space. So we've got the desk space. I can get to all my machines here even when sitting down, and over here also. Down at the bottom, we're just storing some paints, oils, and a few tools for the sprayer and the laser, and then we've got our paint at the top. And then here we've got an array of materials for our lasers, again using all the walls for storage, making most of wall space. That's how this corner is being used, and I think I'm making a good use of that, and I'm making that work really, really hard. Really happy about that. This is a booth that's about 4 and a bit meters wide. There's nothing I can do about that, as in I got to use that space for my spraying. But over here is my twin slot wall rack. It's, I guess you can say that's space saving because it's just taking up only 500 deep of wall, and it takes a whole load. One thing that does annoy me are these rolling racks. Although they are very handy, they're a bit bulky and cumbersome. They do get in the way. But I don't have any more rack wall space to have more twin slot. I can't put them there because the overspray will hit them too badly. Getting to the point where I've nearly shown you everything. We have got the sprayers here in the middle. There is nowhere else to put those, but they kind of are all right there, and our benches are there to stack things on. Over here is our wall of material, and this, when this whole spray room was built, it looked absolutely massive. I'm going to put a picture up right now how big this thing looked. But as soon as you start needing materials and you want to save money by buying in bulk, you need to store it, don't you? This is where using the space for me for all the materials is a money saver. And yeah, I've tried to move it all in one space. I've tried to make it so they all look nice, use every inch of space in there that I could. and minimized any wasted space, any voids. But yeah, that corner didn't really get used, to be honest, when I first started and built this place. So perfect spot for that rack. And moving back in, I think we'll go over one last thing. Because I've only started recently getting into CNCing, and although I've had the lasers and the printers, I want to get more hands-on. I want to make things. I want to sell some merchandise. I want to go to stalls and make things and do things with my kids. Quick example right now are these that I've made. I've made this chopping board with a CNC, which I absolutely love. And another one, these things. And then over here, that was the laser, believe it or not. And then these squares, okay, these are kind of things that if you are interested in, let me know. They are going to be on my website, by the way. Oh, check out my website, by the way. There is a merchandise page there. Not much on it, but have you seen my door jigs for holding the door when you're fitting them? Better check that website out because it's pretty cool. So I'm getting more hobby, okay? And I'm loving it. I really am loving it. I'm loving the fact that I know how to be using this CNC machine now. With a CNC machine comes cleaning up and preparing your materials, for example. And this is an example here. I bought a whole load of parquet flooring. I'll put a picture up in a moment. A solid piece that's a little bit dirty, although it's a nice piece of timber, but it needs cleaning up. So how do you clean it up? Do you sand it by hand? If you are making 100 plaques, are you going to do that to everyone? No. So we're going to be kind of like setting up a bench for cutting, sanding, cleaning up kind of thing, and that's going to live there. So this is what I've got the OSB on the bench for, albeit tinkering around with my plunge saw there because I think I've broken it, or half broken it. We've got some OSB here. So basically what I'm going to build is a bench which is the same footprint as this. Okay, it's 1.4 by 500 by 900 tall. So picture that. I've got a little workbench being built right now, and I'm about to. That's what I'm filming in a moment once I finish filming this. It's a very simple trolley. It's going to be on wheels. It's going to be made up of 2 carcasses, 1, 2, but with a division in each as well, then joined together. So if I want to break them down in the future and have them as smaller trolleys, or I change my mind, at least they're in 2 small benches rather than one big one that's, you know, I can't do much with. So that is my idea about the design. All OSB, 4 doors, but that's going to have the kind of like the sanding and finishing machines there. And that kind of like finishes off the video, really. We're going to have a bench there, maybe a grinder there in the future, but it's going to have storage in there where if I want to get, for example, a scroll saw or a grinder or something like that, or anything else that I want to just tinker, a bobbin sander, I can pull it out, maybe swap a machine out. I can tinker with the inside, and I can also put like a shelf that pulls out in the future, modify it so I can have a machine that pulls out, use it, put it back. And we are going to be burrowing the Hoover from here. Again, space saving. You can see here, we got the Trends T35 there, and we got a Cyclone at the back. That hose goes directly to the CNC, but it's so simple. I've made it so you could just pop it off, right? That is going to get an extended hose, and if I needed to service this bench. So that will get plugged into there, like that. I can turn that on, and I can hoover around the area where I'm CNCing, and I can hoover off my CNC when I've made some dust. But that hose can also service the bench over there. So it's kind of like, again, it's space saving, it's money saving because I'm not buying 2 of this, 2 of that. I'm using a small vacuum rather than a big 100mm extractor, which I hate. I had one before and it lived in the corner, it just looks crap. So that little thing is going to service this, and it's going to service all of these machines over here. The only thing is I've got to figure out what to do with all these offcuts. We've got a pile there. That is one thing I need to do. But I think we're getting to the point where I'm actually really happy with the way this place looks and the way it runs. Everything is in a place. Everything is everything is to hand. Everything is neat. Everything is tidy. Everything looks nice. Nice materials. No rubbish lying around. And that is exactly the way I like to roll. I'm thinking this video is going on a bit. Hopefully you can leave a comment, like and subscribe. Please share this, guys. The YouTube algorithm hasn't been great to me lately, and it would be great if you could share this, like this, try and get this out and about, try and get YouTube to show that, well, I'm hoping it's decent content for you. Maybe it gives you some inspiration, and if it has, feel free to become a member. Help me on that way, because it takes a long time to make these things and edit these videos, especially when you're trying to work and you're trying to edit and film and at the same time do paid work and do YouTube stuff. So other than that, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Stay tuned, because we are going to be building that bench that I just talked about. I am going to be modifying the workshop. Stay tuned, become a subscriber and follow me, because this thing is still going to change. We're going to bling it up a little bit. We're going to be making some signs on the CNC. We're going to be cutting some vinyl, making some stickers for the walls and ceiling. We're going to get some LED lights, extractor on the ceiling. We're going to bling it up, make it look a little bit more YouTube friendly and a bit more bling lights going on and signs and everything like that. And if you want to see how this workshop does evolve, and also the spray room side, the hobby bit over there, better stay tuned. Hit the bell notification button so you don't miss any videos. And don't forget to have a look at the join section on my YouTube channel. Other than that, guys, have a great Friday. Hopefully I'll see you next Friday. Take it easy. Ciao for now.